Today we're talking about exercise number 3 for the flying changes. This is a pretty short video because this is a different way of looking at exercise number 1 and 2 to help you with a straightforward way to teach the horse the flying changes. I want to open up the opportunity for people to comment and ask questions that you have about the flying changes, to give you the opportunity to get some help that's individualized to your horse. So feel free to ask questions, make a comment, or even give us suggestions of what works for you. Hi guys, so this is exercise number 3. So this is kind of a combination of exercise 1 and 2 with sort of the typical way that people ask for flying changes. So the typical way that people ask for flying changes is they change direction and they ask for the change. And usually they go, true canter across the diagonal. When they get to the other long side, then they ask for the change. So the problem with that is that the horses will sometimes anticipate that change, and then they will start to rush, and they will fall off balance as they go to change to the new direction. So what I'd like you to do, if this is a way that you want to work with your horse in the changes, is that you're going to use exercise number 1 and number 2 to set them up better. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to go across the diagonal. You're going to be, say, cantering right lead. You're going to go across the diagonal. You're going to make sure that everything about the canter stays the same, that the tempo, the speed, the balance, everything stays the same. You're going to canter across the diagonal. You want to be able to straighten your horse or do what we did in exercise 2, which is a little counter bending, and you want your horse to stay in this really nice canter. Before you come to the wall, or before you come to the other side of the arena, the long side, you're going to walk. You're going to walk for 2 or 3 strides, and then you're going to pick up the new lead. If your horse starts anticipating this, then you can always put in like a 10-meter circle around X. So if you're cantering from the right to the left, so you're cantering on the right lead, you turn to go across the diagonal, you're straightening your horse, you're trying to soften them to the inside, they get a little bit nervous, they get a little bit tight, there's a little bit of restriction, or then you're going to just want to make a nice circle to the right, because that's the lead that you're on, around X, 10-ish meters, right? Because that's all the room you're going to have. You're going to come back to the diagonal. You're going to, set yourself up. You're going to walk before you get to the long side, and then you're going to pick up the left lead. You want to be able to do all the things that we talked about in exercise number 1 and number 2 so that they are balanced and ready for the aid change when you get to the long side and ask for the new direction and the new flying change. So again, this is one of those exercises that you can start with the canter walk and then to the new lead in the canter. And then when they get really good about just quietly cantering across the diagonal, then you can put in the flying change. A lot of horses will start to anticipate that when they change direction, they're going to change leads. At this point in time, you can use that to your advantage. At some point, obviously, you don't want them to just take over and swap leads, okay? So be careful with that idea that every time they change direction that they change leads. But sometimes you can use that to your advantage. Again, you're going to repeat on the other side. And like we said in exercise 1, we are not going to necessarily school the left and the right. We're going to school them equally, but we're going to only ask for the change in one direction first until that's pretty solid, and we're going to use the one that it's easier for them to do the flying change to. So this allows us to kind of use this idea of softening to the new inside that we learned in exercise 2, plus all of the setup work for the walk canters, counter canters, walks that we did in exercise number 1. And now, instead of doing it around the outside of the arena or on a circle, we're actually doing it on the diagonal. So that's how this exercise builds. So that's exercise number 3. Please put in the comments any questions you have about exercise 3. Again, maintain your position, think about your timing of your aids, set the horse up for success. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.